Hi there, my name is Sally, and thank you so much for coming to my channel, How I Got There, from Cult Survivor to Writer. I've been sharing a lot about the questions people have about the cults that I grew up in, the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I also want to encourage writers and creative people because that's who I work with, that's who I'm coaching, and so I want to give you the tools that you need, especially if you're just starting out. And you don't know what path to take or where to go. I just want to remind you that your path is your own. It's not mine. It's not somebody's next to you. So whatever I'm telling you is my experience, and you can take it, you can leave it, or you can fine tune it into something that works for you. Just want to let you know that, and I really appreciate those of you who subscribe and watch and share. It means a lot to me. And if you leave me a comment, like if you need me to explain something that I mentioned, I'd be more than happy to. I leave in the description of this video, I leave links for all of my writing in case you want to check my writing out. And I also have links to some of the things I mention, books that I mention, or the tools that I mention, if there's something online that you can find. And please subscribe if you haven't. So today I'm talking about writing because that's what I do. I write. I'm also creative. I also like to paint and draw, and I like to do photography. I'm a very creative soul. And that, if you watch my earlier videos, is something that was squelched in my childhood, and I was told it was wrong. And it took me a long time to come around and see that the way I thought and the way I saw things was not weird and abnormal, but it was actually how other people who are creative like me think. So yes, I'm weird, I know that, but now I know I have other weirdos in my group. So today I'm going to talk about finding the time to write or draw or create or whatever it is that your passion is. So for me, I want to be a full-time writer. That is my goal. I want to have my novels in the hands of children. I want my articles that I write to be read. I want to earn a living from them. It's very, very hard. I'm just going to tell you that. So if you're doing this, I applaud you. Do not give up. You're just getting started, or if you're on your path already, don't give up. There's all kinds of ways that this can go for you, traditional, non-traditional, but you need to keep your path on what it is that you want. If you want to be a writer, you want to be an artist, you want to be a painter, photographer, you want to sew, you want to make quilts, you want to crochet, you want to sell pickles at, you want to, whatever it is. But I'm going to tell you, for me, how I found the time to be a writer. Now, lucky for you, if you don't have to work and you can just write, awesome, that's great. I was not able to do that. I, at the time, was married to a person who was not supportive, who did not help me, who sabotaged me as much as possible, and made it even harder for me to write. Not married to that person anymore, obviously, but so I had to work a full-time job, and I also did side jobs, and I struggled, just to keep a roof over my head. But all I wanted to do was write, and I would not give that up because I knew if I let my problems push me, I would never get to my dream. So I'm always pushed by my dream. I'm never pushed by my problems. So just remember that if you're going through time. Be led by your dreams, not pushed by your problems. So finding the time, that's a big one, because our lives, especially if you have children, is rough, and you have a job, and the kids have activities, and you have activities. For me, I'm single, but I work full time. I'm very active. I have friends. I want to do things. I don't want to go to work and come home and sit in a chair and write. I want to enjoy life. I love to go out. I like to kayak, ride my bike. I love to go, I love nightlife. And I was dating, all these things I have to juggle. So what I found works best for me, and I tried many different things. I get up super early. I don't get up as early as I used to, but I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I used to get up at 4:30, and I find that's my most creative time of the day. So I will do my devotions, and then I will write. And if it's a new project that I'm working on, I just write. I don't think about editing. I just sit there and maybe I read what I wrote the previous day, like the last paragraph, just to get in the mindset. I'm what you call a pantster. So I don't have an outline. I kind of have a general roadmap of where I want my story to go. And I find that if I, sit down in the morning and do what I said, have a cup of coffee, and I'm reading through what I wrote, I can pick up from where I left off. I might not get very far, in the time. I might, only get a few paragraphs, but it's something. And it's better than me not doing anything. And I find too, when I do that during the day, I have, thoughts will come to me about what I was writing, and I jot them down, or I do a voice memo really quick. So that might not work for you. 5 o'clock in the morning is awful early, and maybe you go to the gym, or maybe you have to get up for work. Maybe you have kids. Maybe your shift is weird. Everybody's different. But all the conferences I've gone to, and I've heard these big time authors talk about carving out time. That's what they did. They had to carve out time in the beginning. I forgot who it was who said this, but he, worked a full-time job, and what he did was he had a calendar, and he blocked off the times that he would be writing. So he didn't write every day because they had kids, and maybe, I think it was 3 hours, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening. That was his time. So the other days of the week, it was his responsibility to get the kids from school or cook dinner. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, his wife did it. Well, that's awesome if you have a spouse that can do that for you. If you don't, I have a friend who takes her kids to activities, and she sits there a lot of times and she's waiting for them. Well, that time for her is not wasted. She has a pad of paper, and you may have to use paper and pen. I do that a lot. I find it much more creative. And she will just freehand write what comes to her mind, or what she's working on. It just happens that where she's at, she can't bring her laptop. But you know what? While you're sitting waiting for your kids in their dance lessons, or they're at a sporting event, you sit in your car, get your pen out, bring your laptop, and that's your writing time. It doesn't matter how long it is. It could be 20 minutes, and you could be working on your plot. You could be writing a short story. You could be writing a novel, a picture book. It doesn't matter. I also have a friend who, she has a very long commute. It's 1 hour or 1.5 hours each way. And you can't write when you're driving. But what she does is and I forgot if she does this through her phone or she actually bought something, a voice recorder. She just records. Yep, she records. And then I think it's the Notes application on your iPhone, but I'm not sure, but it records, and it's not voice, but it's voice to text. And then she's able to transcribe that. She has time later in the week, maybe when she's waiting at an appointment, and she just transcribes it. But she wrote a whole novel that way. So I think if you are struggling with that, what you need to do is find your time that's best for you to write. And it doesn't have to be every day. People say that you must write every day, but you don't have to, because if that's a struggle for you and it stops you from writing, then don't do that. I also will pick a time on a weekend, not every weekend, because like I said, I'm active. I will have a day where I block it and I just say, this is my writing day. And I don't do anything else. I don't do any household chores. I don't go to the grocery store. I order food. See? And I leave the TV off, and I try my best to ignore the dishes in the sink and the internet. And I write, and I take a break. You know, I might go for a walk, but that's my day, and I focus on that. So those are just some of the tools and tricks that I use. But I don't want you to feel guilty if you're not a morning person, if you're a night person. I don't want you to feel guilty that you can't write or draw or whatever it is every day. But I do want to encourage you, if that is your passion and that is your dream, do not shelve it because you don't have the answer. Figure it out. Find it. Look for ways during the day. Be creative. You're a creative person. Be creative and find ways to write. Dictation. Keep a pen and paper in your car. Something. Because I know you can do it. So please leave me a comment if you have a hard time or you have a way that you write that's unconventional, or how you found time to write. I would love to hear these stories because, you know, everybody has their own method and I love to share them. So thank you so much for coming. Also, leave me a comment if you want me to talk about another subject in writing or in the art world. If if there's a specific topic of how to, nuts and bolts, how to get started, where to go from here, what's this, what's that mean? I would love to talk to you. So thank you so much again. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back again with another episode on writing. Have a great day. Thank you.